Hey there, Matt Scratch here. So I was just going to move my dad's car here and it would not start. It's a 2005 PT Cruiser and you can see there's not even the odometer is lit up. I'll just see nothing, not going to click nothing. So I'm going to show you how to boost a PT Cruiser. PT Cruisers are a little bit unique to boost because the battery's underneath the airbox here, and technically even on most cars you're not supposed to really use the battery to boost directly off of, although I normally do and never have any issue with that. But these do have you can see it's well labeled, a positive terminal right here. You just pull that plastic cover straight up, and then it says jump start, negative jump start location right there on the hood latch. Now I've tried this, it does work, so I guess you can use that. But what I prefer to do, actually, it's a little bit trickier, but just in there is the main grounding stud for everything. I'm not sure if you can quite get a good visual on that. Yeah, right there is where all the ground points come to. And that's where I like to put my negative cable. It's always good to know why your battery went dead. In this case, I believe we have a faulty battery, or we may have a power draw. So my next video is going to be on how to diagnose the parasitic draw. And so I'll be testing for that right after I get this running. I need to have some juice in the battery to test for that. And right now the battery is stone dead. But this car's only been parked here about 3 weeks. All cars do use some power even when they're parked, but it should last a lot longer than 3 weeks. Some things like a luxury car or whatever might draw the battery down a bit quicker when it's sitting, because there's a lot of stuff inside that's running. But this car is mostly manual. There's really nothing to be drawing on here. Sometimes it can be as simple as some corrosion on your battery cables. So maybe try cleaning up your cable ends first and see if that's the issue. Okay, well, I got my cables here. I've got my trusty town car to use for a booster vehicle, but you do always want to hook up the dead vehicle first. That just eliminates possibility of anything getting shorted out. You want to make sure your cables are in good condition and that they're not going to short across. And then just spread the end apart that's going to go on the vehicle you're using for power. And then, of course, it's labeled and everything. You can't really screw up, but black is negative. Negative goes to ground. So if you're unsure on your car, you always just look for the one that leads back to the body or the engine or whatever. If it goes to metal, then it's negative. You want to hook up your positive cable first and your negative cable last, and then when you unhook, you disconnect the negative first and the positive last. And that's because power actually travels from negative to positive. So we're going to go ahead and hook this up. So hooking up the positive. And then just get in there. And the nice thing about the negative is it doesn't matter if you touch the body with it at the same time. But the positive, you got to be really careful. You don't want to short that against metal, because that'll be a dead short if it's hooked to the positive at the same time. So I've got that nicely on the ground and that nicely on the positive. Now, if you've got really heavy cables, you may be able to boost your vehicle without starting the other vehicle, but these are quite light cables, and they normally take the vehicle running for half a minute or two to charge up the battery a bit in the vehicle you're boosting before you can start it. The heavier the cable, the better always, but these are are the cheaper cables that you get, and they're long ones at least, but they're not very heavy, and I just like to have at least have a cheap set in every vehicle. So the same thing here, I'm going to hook up the positive cable first, and then the negative. And you could actually hear the engine cut down a bit as my alternator engaged. That means I've got a good connection between the vehicles. So we're just going to give it a second here, and then we'll try and start the PT here. So you can see it started up here without any hesitation. I do like boosting from here better than boosting from here, even though this is recommended. I've found the starts are really sluggish when I use this location. So I do prefer that. You can see how I have it hooked up in there. So I do hope you found this video helpful. Thanks a lot for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more, and have yourself a great day.